Hi guys, it's just a quick shout out to Marc over at Scouting Free in Germany. Um, Marc, if you don't follow him, had gotten a Vargo Titanium Hexagon Woodstove, just like this. I had actually gotten this one for Christmas. I had asked for it for a Christmas gift. I thought it would be a pretty good lightweight kit item. And I'd gotten it, and I found much the same thing that Marc found in his review of this stove that he posted a few weeks ago. As long as you could keep air flowing through it, it was okay. But airflow was an issue. As delivered, the only real vents in the stove were here in the bottom, in the base. And as soon as that got clogged up with ash, the thing would start to go out, and it was a real pain in the butt to keep it going. So Marc decided that he needed to increase the airflow on his. Something that I've been thinking about doing for a while, I just never got around to doing it. Well, Marc went and did it. And his stove worked vastly better with these extra holes put in. So, Marc, you inspired me. Thank you. I got off my butt today. I'm home. Excuse me, I'm homesick. I'm just getting over the flu, but I'm actually feeling fairly decent today. I'm still taking it easy. But in any case, I took advantage of my little bit of downtime, and I did what you recommended. And I put some extra ventilation on this sucker. I don't have a drill press, so what I did, I took a piece of cardboard, kind of measured it out to fit as a template over the various sides of the stove, measured out where I wanted the holes to be, drilled the holes in, and this is what I had on hand. Great big lag nut, or leg screw. Put that down over each one of the sides, held it in place, and hammered a dimple where each one of the holes is supposed to go. I did that on all of those. Took my high-speed drill, drilled out the holes, cleaned them up, and voila. It actually looks pretty decent. Almost looks like I know what I'm doing. Not really. I learned from you. But I really like this stove. I love how easy it is to put together. There's no parts to lose. It's all hinged in place. The only thing I didn't like about this stove was that if you had it put together and you had it sitting down and you were open, yeah, see, I just did it there. You're opening the door and you torqued on it wrong, or you were messing around with some wood, this thing could very easily start to come undone, and I didn't like that. So if you can see it here, there's a loop, a tab, this tab right here. That's the last tab that goes into place. But there's a spot in there that's just big enough for a bobby pin. So with this kit, I keep a bobby pin, and I just run that through when I'm done putting it together, and it locks the whole thing in place. So now, it's not going anywhere. It's not coming undone what I don't want it to. And it just makes it that much better. So, we've got the bobby pin in there, holding the whole contraption together, and now we've got all kind of extra ventilation. Let's try a burn. Found the one downfall to these types of stoves. If you're making a fire like this, you're just going to make wood shavings and put a spark to them. It's kind of hard to get the spark in where you want it to be, because you don't have a whole lot of room to work with. But it's doable. Knife I've been using is a Primal Edge Raven. Anyone who knows me a little bit knows that well, I won't beat around the bush. I'll call myself what everyone else seems to call me, a knife whore. I love knives. I don't know what it is. I have more knives than I probably need. Well, I definitely have more knives than I need. That won't stop me from buying more of them, trading them. I just really enjoy them. There's a couple of knives in my collection that I just refuse to sell. Some for sentimental reasons, others just because they're that damn good. One of those that's just that damn good is my Skookum Bush tool, which you see I'm not using today. For bushcraft, that thing's damn near perfect. Got great steel, great heat treat, handle is fantastic, and it just slices through wood like butter. I kind of lucked into it years ago before I was really back into the whole bushcraft thing. Got it for a real good price, but that's one of those knives that I'll never get rid of. It's a keeper. And I gotta tell you, when I got this Raven at first, after hearing all the hype about him, I wasn't sure. I won't say I was underwhelmed, but I wasn't sure. The handle had some issues, which wasn't any fault of the maker per se. The guy that originally bought this had specified this type of wood, which is beautiful to look at, but it's unstabilized. And the wood had shrank, leaving the edge of the tang exposed all the way around, which was a problem. That and the grind was so acute and so stinking sharp. It was too sharp. It was too acute. I couldn't control it. This thing wanted to bite into the wood with the tiniest application of pressure. Doing this, I couldn't do it. So Joe Honeycutt, who makes these, took the knife back and was kind enough to fix the handle scales for me, get rid of that issue, and sent it back. And I decided to modify the grind a little. Instead of just having it come down to a 0-degree convex, or not a convex, a Scandi edge, I put a very small convex 20-degree micro bevel on it. And it has absolutely transformed this knife to the point where I've been using this thing pretty much above everything else that I have. And I won't say that it is a better bushcraft knife than my Skookum is, but it is God, I hate to say this, it is probably the Skookum's equal, or close to it. Um, some things I like about this more than I like the Skookum. It's got a sturdier tip. And just the way that this thing sits in my hand, and the profile of the blade, and the type of grind that it has on it now, it's better in the kitchen. Or it's more natural for me in the kitchen. I'll say that. It's easier for me to use in the kitchen. I like it better. Good sharp spine on it. The other modification was the choil here. This was only the second Raven that Joe ever built, so he didn't have quite all the bugs worked out of it. So there was some sharp spots there. Couldn't put your finger up there if you wanted to. So I rounded that out and improved that. But from talking to Joe, he's already taken care of a lot of those problems that I had with this, with the Ravens that he's producing and sending out now. So if you're looking for a really good knife, this thing's awesome. Alright, I'm going to finish making shavings. I'll get back to you. Alright, you got a good pile of shavings and birch bark in there. This is what I mean about this not being the easiest thing to do. You gotta love birch bark. Tell you one thing, this thing burns fuel fast. Too fast. Ah, crap. That's what I get. Dummy. Alright. Plan B. I don't feel like making shavings again. That was dumb. Alright, I cheated. Don't tell anyone. Said that this thing cranks up fast. I didn't have my small stuff in there ready to go, so that was user error. Be able to tell a difference after I get a bed of coals in here. So at this point, this is about how this acted before. It'd crank up really good as long as it had airflow through the bottom. It's when all the ash and coals and stuff are on the bottom, clogging up those bottom ports, that this thing would start to struggle and have problems. Yeah, it's really cranking. Holy crap. Alright, I'm not going to bore you with watching this thing burn. So, we get this burnt down a little bit, get some coals established down in there, get the bottom of this clogged up a little, and well, I'll turn the camera back on and we'll see how she's doing. Alright, as you can see, this thing's still going strong. Sorry. Kind of hard to see, but the bottom ports in there are covered up enough at this point where before I would have started having some issues with this thing wanting to choke out on me. Typically what I'd have to do is take the pot off, whatever I'm cooking, take my multi-tool, shake it down, open those ports back up, and it should come back up again. No such problems with the way this is set up now. I'm almost thinking maybe I only should have done every other panel. This thing's blasting through fuel, and it's burning hot, hot, hot. I didn't even time this. Oof, I didn't time this water. I guess I should have. But it's coming up to a boil really fast. Really fast. This is a major improvement in this stove. I don't know why the heck they don't deliver it like this in the first place. Before, as a shield for a Vargo or something like that, for an alcohol stove, it was great. No complaints. But as a wood stove, which is what it's advertised as, it left something to be desired. Good design, almost, except for that ventilation thing. This thing's just cranking now. And this is all cedar that I had laying out here. Most of it was reasonably damp. Actually, all this stuff is a little damp. It's been raining pretty steady for the past 2 days. We've had a lot of rain. And even feeding damp stuff in here has not been an issue. Alright, this water doesn't need to be sterilized. I just wanted to heat it up for some tea. It's more than hot enough. Let's steep a little bit. You can see this thing burned like a champ. Get this out so you can see what's going on with it. Burned pretty completely. The bottom ventilation holes are fairly well clogged. Like I said before, I'd have had to shake this down, get the ash out, clear it a little bit. As you can also see, you need to be careful where you put it when you're burning it. Make sure your area is clear and safe, because this sucker gets hot, really hot. Yeah, plenty of coals left in there to crank it back up if I wanted to. But it's pretty good. I'm impressed. Oh yeah, Mark. I just wanted to show you what I did. It's still hot. This titanium cools down pretty quickly, but this thing's still glowing coal. Yeah, I'm gonna have to douse that. If anybody else out there already has one of these and wants to make it into a better stove, I would highly recommend trying this out. The method that I used was pretty easy. Like I said, I just cut out a template, marked them, dimpled them, and drilled them. It wasn't all that difficult. You might want to try going every other panel. That might give enough extra ventilation to keep this thing going without any trouble. I don't know. I'm not displeased with how it runs now. This thing worked terrific. So if you've already got one, you want to make it a better stove, go ahead and put some extra ventilation in. Get yourself a bobby pin to keep it solid, keep it all together until you're ready for it to come apart. If you're on the fence about buying one and you don't mind modifying it, it's a good stove. I have an Emberlit too, which I really like. But this thing is so simple, it's so easy to put together. There's no slots or anything like that. You just slap it together, throw your bobby pin in, and it's ready to go. And it's tiny. It's great for a haversack, which is where I keep this one. So, yeah, it's a good mod. Thanks for motivating me to get it done, Mark. I appreciate it. I get a whole lot more use out of this now. So, take care, buddy. Thanks again. See ya.